Hello everyone, this is the third part of the Merino series, and this is what we're going to call Merino 2, as it's the second one I've actually built. Yeah, I've actually got a lot of bikes out today. They're all, those four are down for washing, but this one's clean. So I'm going to run through the spec, what's actually been built, and I'll go for a bit of the build experience. So first of all, we'll start at the front. We've got the Maxxis DHR2 tyres, 650B, 2.3 width, on DT Swiss E1900 rims. These are Fox 36 factory forks. They were 170mm. I've reduced them down to 150mm travel for this build. I'm using the Uberbike components tubular setup, so the tape, the valves, the goo, it's all Uberbike components. And the front brake, it's a 180mm Shimano Ice-Tech rotor with a Shimano Dior M6120 4-pot caliper. Coming up, so obviously we've got the frame, but the stem, first time I've bought this stem, type of stem, it's a nuke proof stem. I liked it because of the colour and it being cheaper than a Hope item. It sort of made sense for this build. I had some Unite spacers left over, so I've used those. We've got a Hope top cap, but also a head doctor in the tube, and we've got a Hope headset. The headset on this is a tapered headset. So we've got the Renthal Fat Light bar carbon bars, 740mm. It's actually a small size bike. Again, the Shimano Dior shifters, brake levers. They are the M6100. Pill grips from Sam Pilgrim. Just like the feel of these, to be honest. So for those people who are probably going to ride the bike without gloves, quite nice. In terms of shifter, so this bike's got a 12-speed Shimano setup, and the shifter is an SLX shifter. I've also got an Ascend dropper post, so that's the standard Brandex Ascend lever on there. I've got some of these nice Uberbike component purple ferrules around as well. So coming down a bit, obviously we've got the frame. I'm gonna flash up the my geometry chart for this frame now. So as you can see from the picture, that's basically the geometry of the bike as we've planned to set it up. I've gone with the DVO Topaz air shock, largely because it was on offer. It was 400 quid, but also I had quite a good result with the DVO coil shock on the first Merino that came with the frame. So thought, you know what, we'll try the air shock out. I haven't actually ridden this bike yet, so I don't know how it works, how well it works. So we'll get to that eventually. Brandex Ascend dropper post, 150mm. WTB Coda saddle. The Hope seat post collar. Coming down a bit, so by and large this is an externally routed cabling system on this bike, but with an internally routed dropper. So all three cables come down the top of the down tube. That mark there, by the way, came with the bike as it was shipped. Comes down here, and that's for the dropper goes up, and the brake cable, I've swapped it over to the back, at the back, and then along the chainstay upwards. For the shifter, again, it crosses over, comes underneath here into the derailleur. So the bottom bracket, we've used an Uberbike components steel ball bearing bracket rather than the more expensive ceramic ball bearings. Work quite well, to be fair. It's in purple. And we've gone with the Unite chain retention and bash guard as well, which you might be able to see there. SLX cranks, these are 175mm long with a 32 tooth chainring, largely because they're on offer. And the DMR V11 pedals also in purple. And come to the back. Maxxis DHR2 tyres, 650B again, 2.3 on the same DT Swiss E1900 rims. This is 12-speed setup, so it's a micro spline. SLX cassette, 12-speed. This is an XT rear mech, as you can probably see on there. Actually, the clutch is turned off, so let's turn that on. Though I've changed out the jockey wheels for these nice Uberbike component purple ones. The cassette and the rear mech and the shifter were actually all off my e-bike. I've switched my e-bike to Link Glide, and these components were spare, so they've ended up on this bike. The chain protection, that's my creation, so it's just an inner tube that I sort of wrap around a couple of cable ties. And the rear brake, Dior again, M6100. This is a dual piston caliper though, on a 180mm disc again, Shimano Ice Tech. So that's the spec of the bike. So what was building it like? Largely it went okay, but there was little bits of fettling just to try and get the shock in, to be honest, here. I'll flash up the size of the mount kit that you'll need for a shock now. There we go. Other than that, it was mainly around the mounting the brake calipers. So this is a 180mm mount, IS mount, that I've spec'd at the back, so it wouldn't need a bracket. But I had to put a very, very small washer just underneath the caliper, both sides. Otherwise the caliper was rubbing on the disc. But other than that, that was it. So yeah, we'll see how it rides. Got the other one to build, so just very, very quickly running doors. Got that frame there and those components.